So if you're any bit like me, you're probably sick of hearing that you need insurance for everything. Well, what about artist insurance? Now that really sounds like something that could be a scam by an insurance company trying to profit off of something that will never happen to you. Well, I did a little bit of research on this topic and I was surprised at what I found out. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the information that I gathered on this topic to help you decide if artist insurance is something that you should get. Before we begin, I want to let you know that the sculpting drapery tutorial is still on its way. We're just waiting to install that sculpture that I filmed to make those videos. I also want to let you know that I'm going to be doing some videos on cool tricks with watercolor painting techniques. That'll be coming out soon, and this winter I'm going to do a more in-depth tutorial on the whole process of sculpting and even get into casting into bronze. So please subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated with these videos. A new one comes out every Thursday and I've been keeping up on that pretty good. But anyway, let's get started with this artist insurance video. Also, one quick disclaimer here. I'm not an affiliate with any insurance company. No one's paying me to do this video. I'm just trying to shed some light on the topic for you. This isn't legal advice. I'm not an attorney. This is just a video that's trying to, put some information out there on something that a lot of people don't know about. I'm just getting it from some internet searches, talking to people, and trying to figure out what kind of policy I can get. So let's get into it. As you know, the first step in doing any type of research is going straight to Google. So let's get over to the computer and I'll show you what I found on artist insurance. So the first type of insurance that comes to mind is business insurance. So I did a quick search on that for artists and I was surprised at how straightforward of an answer I got. The first one here that I clicked on was a link to an insurance company's website, and they kind of laid out what you would need it for. It's mostly covering like an artist studio, and then there's 3 categories up here. Now, if you have employees, that will also be a huge factor in how much it costs. So here, this one's premises liability. That means liability for people that are in your studio, whether they be guests or students. The other one is products liability. That's in case one of your pieces of art hurts someone. Like when I mentioned earlier, you might sell a sculpture, it might fall or poke someone or something. The other one is completed operations liability, and that one means that if you're commissioned to do a piece and you get sued during the project, like a public project, they'll cover like the attorney fees and that sort of thing. I did the whole get a quote here. Didn't want to waste my time too much with that, so I just kind of backed out of that part. I don't really want to get into that. So I went back to the Google search and I'm trying to find out more about cost here to see how much the artist insurance would cost. So I just typed in artist insurance instead of business insurance. And a lot of what I was seeing in the results was stuff about liability again, and then like tattoo shop insurance. That's not really what I'm looking for. I kind of already got the answers to the liability question. So I went ahead and changed it back to business insurance in the search bar because I'm just not finding out really what the cost is here for an artist. So after typing that in, it came up with a pretty general response. A sole proprietor might pay $500 per year for general liability, but a small consulting firm, $3,000. So, whatever. That's not really answering my question still here. So I needed to search a little bit deeper for this artist insurance question on the cost. Now, I will say that people have mentioned to me that getting a rider on your homeowner's insurance might cover both liability and the cost for replacing your art if you've invested a lot of time and money into the pieces you create. So on my phone later on during the day, I went back and searched more on that. So I was trying to figure out a homeowner's insurance rider, what that would cost for an artist, because I've had multiple people, suggest that. So I'm trying to figure it out right now, and I actually got a really good answer. So how much you're going to pay to insure your pieces from being lost or stolen depends on the policy that you have. This is for a coin collection. It's $1.15 for each $1,000 worth of the collection you're trying to insure. For a guitar collection, it was like $1.30 per $100 for guitars, so it varies. So that's a pretty straightforward answer there. If you're just trying to cover the costs of your pieces in case someone steals them or there's a fire, there's a lot of things that could happen. They probably won't, but insurance, sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you're looking at like $30 to $100 per year, it's probably worth it. Okay. So here I'm looking at homeowner's liability rider. I don't need to type in for an artist. That's not going to give me the answer. Just a liability, and I'm just trying to figure out what I can find here. And I went down to Allstate's website after reading the recommended one there to try to get some more details on this. And they actually gave quite a bit of information on what types of liability are covered. Obviously, if you purposely hurt someone, that's not going to be covered. I hope no one here is going to do that. Doesn't plan to do that. But, it says here the example of broken porch step, maybe someone falls and hurts themselves. The homeowner's rider would cover that, or the umbrella policy, which covers a lot more in the insurance here. So I would also be sure to find out if it covers liability for you teaching those classes, if you teach art classes, or for your studio, or if you can add that on, or maybe you do need a separate policy. If you do, you'd probably have to go with the business insurance, but hopefully you can work it out with the homeowner's insurance rider. But that's pretty much what I could find here. I'll get back to just talking about what I found out from people by just chatting in person. So as you can see there, it just kind of laid out some different needs for the insurance if you're an artist, what kind of situations you could get in. So I want to let you know what I kind of figured out talking to other people about this. You need to understand that if you're teaching a class, maybe it's not on your own property, you're going teaching a class at a school, and someone is in the classroom and they just happen to fall and hurt themselves or cut themselves on a tool, go to the hospital, whatever. If there are medical bills for that, it's not a matter of them wanting to sue you for those medical bills or blame you for it. It's a matter of them going to the hospital or doctor, having to pay for all that care, and then they're probably going to use their medical insurance for that, but their medical insurance company could come after you for that money. So the point that I'm trying to get at here is that if something goes wrong and it's going to cost money for whatever reason, no one's going to want to pay for that. And the thing is, the person who doesn't have protection is the one that will have to pay for it. And that's just an unfortunate thing, that happens to a lot of people, and especially in American society, because we're a society that has a tort system, and I mean by that, a civil lawsuit system where people sue each other for all kinds of things, and it's really easy for people to go after another person, or a company to go after another person to collect damages. Because, if a company like an insurance company already has full-time attorneys, that's the job of those attorneys, is to go fight lawsuits like that, So they're not losing anything extra by going after people, trying to recover money. Also, if another individual tries to sue you because they fell, which is really rare, but it can happen. They might have a cousin or an uncle who's an attorney, and they might do a contingency basis lawsuit, which means the attorney basically says, you're my buddy or you're my family member. If we lose, you don't owe me any attorney fees, but if we win, I'll cut the profits with you, which that means I'll cut the money with you that we get for damages. So I think that's why you really should think about this. Something you might want to get is because of the liability, for teaching or having people around you, or if you sell pieces, like I sell bronze sculptures, if one of those sculptures falls on a kid or someone pokes their eye with like a pointy part of the sculpture, that could be a reason that themselves or the insurance company could come after you to try to collect money from you. So that's where you want liability to protect you. I think homeowners insurance should cover that if you get a rider. Just call your insurance agent and ask them about it. If you really want, you could talk to an attorney about it. It might cost you something, but that's where you get the real answers. I'm just trying to shed some light on it, like I said, to help you figure out, if this is something you need to think about. So I will probably get it for sure here, since I'm starting to show more of my pieces again, and I want to set up a gallery at some point. I definitely want to be protected from liability for that. So to conclude, I'll leave you with 3 main points. Number 1, figure out what you would need the insurance for. Your products, your place where you're showing your work or you're creating your work, or just for general liability, maybe for classes. Number 2, see if you're already covered. Talk to your homeowner's insurance agent. Talk to the school or art gallery where you might be teaching classes. They may provide insurance for you. And thanks, Terry, for suggesting that. My friend Terry told me that you should just ask the people at the place where you're teaching, if they'll cover it. If they do, though, get it in writing. Make sure you have everything in writing so that the worst case scenario happens. You have something to go back on and say, look, we signed a deal here. That is legal and binding if you sign a contract. Number 3, talk to a professional. I'm not the person that can really give you solid legal advice on this. So talk to an attorney or your insurance agent about artist insurance, and they will be able to fill you in on the topic and on the prices. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos that cover topics in art and tutorials. That's it for now, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.